In today's video, I'm going to go deep into the Rocky Mountains and the Wasatch Front to the ancestral homeland of the Ute tribe. I'm going to demonstrate using a stone axe to cut down a tree. Along the way, we're going to see some tracks of some interesting predators. So join me as we do a little experimental archaeology and see how a stone axe really works. Hello everybody, Ben Woodruff here, and I'm up in the mountains of northern Utah. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to cut down a tree with a stone axe. Now this is an ancient skill, and it's something that most people don't know about today. Nowadays we use saws, we use metal axes, and it's pretty cut and dry. But this is what this blade looks like. It's hafted or connected to the shaft by pine pitch glue. I've done a video on pine pitch glue, and I'll put a link to it so you can understand how to glue this. I'm not demonstrating in this video how to make the blade, but I will say normally a stone adze was made with the blade kind of going two directions. But in this case, this is a very simple river cobblestone, and I've flaked one side only, pop, 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 until I get a blade. It's not razor sharp, no stone axe ever is. So, it's October. The trees are losing their leaves and they're retreating the moisture down into the roots, which means any tree is harder to cut down. It's not as supple, it's not as soft, and so any hit from an axe, the energy wave does not travel through as well. So I'm gonna cut down a small aspen tree because that's a little easier on this, but I gotta say, normally if you're doing a denser wood like a pine or an oak, the traditional way was to, if this is the tree, and you're going to start cutting here, you put clay here, and you build a fire around, and you burn, 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 cut, 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 burn, 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 cut, 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 until eventually you can take down that much larger tree, using fire to your advantage. In this case, we're doing a small tree, so we're just going to use a stone axe. So let's take a look at this whole process and see how it goes. This is a beautiful time of year in the forest. With this fresh snow, everything is nice and crisp. But the interesting thing is that the snow is all melting very quickly. And when you're in the trees, it's raining from the trees as the snow melts at an alarming rate. I didn't get any good footage of it, but it was incredible to see. It was like raining in the trees, but not out in the open. Now, with this little bit of fresh snow, there are tracks, such as these tree squirrel tracks, and wasn't too long before I found some coyote tracks. Now with the snow being so soft, it's hard to tell, but you can follow the gait pattern. The gait is more important often than the individual print itself. Now in Utah, coyotes are very common, but they're rarely seen. They've learned that humans are dangerous and they know how to avoid being seen. I absolutely love coyotes, and every time I see one, it's a thrill. I soon found a dead deer that was decomposing and figured this is probably what the coyote was coming to investigate. That smell, you can smell from a long ways off, and again, there is no waste in nature, so even a carcass like this decomposing rapidly is something that is very usable. I came across a cabin, and I remember this cabin had been built in the 1970s. It was an A-frame cabin, and about 5 years ago, the snow pushed it down to the ground, and then in the past 5 years, all the rain and snow has decomposed it to almost nothing. It's amazing that something man-made with modern tools and milled lumber and nails and bolts can decompose so quickly with just water, snow, and heat and thaw. Then I came across some bobcat tracks. This is thrilling for me. Bobcats have not been very common in the canyon, and they seem to start to be rising up in numbers lately, mostly because we've seen an uptick in snowshoe hares, which is one of their favorite foods. Bobcats are breathtaking species. They're not dangerous to humans. They're large enough that they could mess you up if you scrapped with one, but they don't hunt humans. They hunt rabbits and rodents. They're evolved from the Canadian lynx. The Canada lynx is much poofier and doesn't normally range into Utah, but the bobcat evolved directly from them. It is sort of a southern version of a Canada lynx. But again, seeing these tracks, anytime you see predator tracks, it's a sign of a healthy ecosystem, and it did my heart good to see these tracks climbing along a tree. So now it's time to find a tree to cut down. Figuring on cutting an aspen It's not the best time of year to cut aspens, and I want to cut a tree that's already dying naturally. I don't want to cut down a live tree. And looking up ahead here, I found just the right tree. Don't want to cut down a big tree just for this demonstration. I will be using this stave for other projects, but I found a tree that has crownal dieback, so it is dying. It's still alive, but it's in the process of dying, so I figured this is a good tree to cut down. The wood is going to be harder to cut, but that's okay. So, get out my hand axe and start chopping. Now this axe is a pretty good stone. It's made out of quartzite and it makes pretty quick work. Aspen is not the hardest wood, so it's good to demonstrate this in a fairly limited amount of time. I chop all the way around on all sides, making it all the way through, and then start to pull. And you can see we're getting down to the inner cambium of the tree. It's got a nice, beautiful, different color to it there. But then, as you go, you pull, and eventually the tree breaks, but I still haven't cut all the way through. I can see that there's still some right there, so got to finish that off, take out the stone axe, and finish the job until we get this all the way done. And there we're through. Well, that's about all it took. This took me to cut this down. That took maybe about 7 minutes with a stone axe. Now again, this is a piece of, it's got high quartzite. It's just a piece of river stone that I flaked in the most primitive way. This is not a very good axe. And I drilled a hole into a piece of wood and I glued it with pine pitch glue, and that was strong enough. Now, looking at the blade, I could have chipped this better, and this is a time of year that, again, the aspen is not very wet. So I think normally, if I had done this in the summer, I could have cut this down about 5 minutes. You could do it in less than a minute with a modern axe or with a modern, a modern saw. But I think it's pretty neat. Just that with tools that are around here, that you can do that and you can shape the world around you. Now with that stave you have cut off, you can make a walking stick, you can use it a beam for some housing or for some shelter. There's a lot of things you can use that wood for. But again, if you're doing a big tree, you would have also used clay and fire. For a small tree, you can use the axe itself, but that's how people did it in ancient times. And I hope you enjoyed seeing how to do it, and maybe you'll give it a try yourself someday. Again, if you want to see how to make pine pitch glue, got a link to the video in the description. But otherwise, if you could hit subscribe, it really helps me keep this channel up and going. And always remember that life is a gift. So never stop learning and never stop exploring. We'll see you next time.